Dear students, welcome to Tungal online classes. Today I am going to start with the next part of the chapter, that is birth control measures. So what are the birth control measures? So let us go through one by one now, right? So birth control measures. Birth control measures are also known as contraceptives. Contraceptive methods. These contraceptive methods are broadly categorized into two categories. They have been broadly categorized into two categories. The first one is temporary methods. Temporary methods are there, as well as permanent methods are also there. Permanent methods are also there, right? So these temporary methods are also called as spacing methods, and these are also called as sterilization method. Sterilization methods. So like this, they have been broadly categorized into two categories. So first one we'll go through. So what are these temporary methods of contraceptives or birth controlling measures? So these are nothing but, so temporarily these are used so as to make the space between two children. Sometimes unwanted pregnancy is being postponed, right? So such kind of activities is being done by the couples temporarily, not permanently. Such kind of methods are said to be as temporary methods. And permanently, if the couple are not in need of any pregnancies, forthcoming pregnancies, so these methods are followed, and they are said to be as permanent sterilization methods. Permanent methods, or they are called as sterilization methods. So let us go through what are the methods that we come across in first one. So first one is a temporary method, in which the first one is, so there are different methods that we come across. The first one is natural methods. Natural methods of contraception. And the second one is, so natural method is one, and the second one is barrier method. Barrier method. And the third one is oral contraceptive method. Oral contraceptive method, IUDs, implants, hormonal injections. All these are the different temporary methods over here. And permanent methods, they have been done so in two ways. One is vasectomy, and second one is tubectomy, right? So these are the methods, sterilization methods. Sometimes the removal of the uterus as well as the entire testis itself is also being done in case of animals, so as to tame them. Sometimes in case of human being also it is being done, so but it is very rare in case of human being, right? So these are permanent methods, we can say, right? So next, first one we shall go through the natural method. Now the first natural method is periodic abstinence. Periodic abstinence. This is also called as calendar method. It is also called as calendar method. So in this natural method, periodic abstinence is one of the best method, natural method it is. Then what is done so as to avoid the fertilization or the pregnancy over here. Sometimes, so you must remember in birth control measures or in contraceptive methods, so these methods avoid the meeting of both sperm as well as the eggs, right? So that is the think what is done over here in this case, I mean in all the contraceptive methods, right? So let us see what happens in periodic abstinence. It is a natural method. So naturally what happens over here, temporary avoidance of the sex by the parent or the couple is being done so as to avoid pregnancy. Then how it is being done? As you know, it is calendar method, so it is related completely with the menstrual cycle. They must have the idea about the menstrual cycle, then it is very easy method for themselves. Suppose, so this is the 28 days that we consider over here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So like this, all the 28 days you consider. So this is the first day of the menstrual cycle. Menstrual cycle. They must have. So suppose this is the 14th day, middle of the menstrual cycle. So from first day up to the 5th day, what happens over here is, this is said as menstrual period. Menstrual period it is. So it is a bleeding period. Bleeding period it is said as. From 6th to 13th day, so this is said as a safe period. This is said as safe period. But so we consider here the safe period from 5th day or 6th day up to the 10th day we consider, right? So 10 or 11, sometimes 11 you consider. So this is the safe period. Even though intercourse has been done by the parents or the couple, there is no chance of fertilization in this period. Why? Because the ovulation that take place on the 14th day. So 5 days before the ovulation, 5 days after the ovulation, if the sex is avoided, then there is no chance of meeting of both egg cell as well as sperm over here. So that's why automatically what happens, there would not be any pregnancy. That's why, so this is one of the temporary methods that we must remember over here. And after this one, 14, 15, 16, 17. So after 17 means 18 to 28 is also the safe period. This is also the safe period. There is no chance. But here on 11 to 17, this 11th to 17th day of the menstrual cycle, it is said to be as a danger period. Danger period in the sense that it is not danger to the life, but so what happens over here is, there is a possibility of the pregnancy. Why? Because ovulation is taking place. So in between this one, and menstrual cycle is variable in some of the females. It may extend sometimes 35 days, like this. It may extend, or so this is the temporary method, so which is not sure, we can say. Surely we cannot stop the pregnancy sometimes. So the menstrual cycle in different women is variable. That's why we cannot predict it. That's why sometimes we say this is not a safe method, right? But still we can manage this one, right? So this is one method. And the second method is coitus interruptus. What is this coitus interruptus, also known as is withdrawal method? It is called as withdrawal method. What is this method saying over here? How it helps in avoiding the pregnancy over here is, see here, coitus is taking place, sexual intercourse is taking place, right? So that moment that moment, so there is a possibility of insemination or ejaculation of the semen into the reproductive tract of the female, right, at the end of the coitus. But before the end of the coitus, before insemination or deposition of the semen into the reproductive tract of the female, that is ejaculation, so the man has to remove his penis from the vagina of the female, so that what happens, there is no insemination. If there is no insemination, then what happens? Then there is no pregnancy at all automatically. This is how this method is also another natural method so as to avoid pregnancy. And the third one, lactational amenorrhea. Lactational amenorrhea. So what is this lactational amenorrhea says? So this lactational amenorrhea is one of the period in which the milk is produced in the mammary glands of the female, and that female is able to feed her young one, right? So during that period, lactation period, so there is no possibility of the menstrual cycle. If there is no menstrual cycle, then there is no ovulation. If there is no ovulation, then there is no possibility of pregnancy. So this is the period which is called as lactational amenorrhea. The female is in amenorrheic condition, so that's why there is no menstrual cycle. If there is no menstrual cycle, then there is no lactation. Then there is no ovulation. If there is no ovulation, automatically there is no pregnancy. This is the lactational amenorrhea. So this is the period which is extending from the birth of the baby, from the day of parturition up to 6 months. Up to 6 months means, so after the parturition it extends about 6 months. After the 6 months, what happens? There is a possibility of what? Pregnancy again, if there is no safe sexual intercourse between the couples, right? So this is lactational amenorrhea. These are